The noise is loud. But talk, that's never won a game.
A swing and a miss, he struck him out.
But staying on top, that's the true battle. The roster's changed, but the heart beats the same. The mission is still alive.
This is well struck. It is hit deep out to left field. Good throw home. It's cut off. It's a tie game.
A shot at number 3.
2-2. This is thrown to left field. It's going to win the ball game. It was a nail-biter Wednesday night at the Beehive, ending in heartbreaking fashion. Cam Riggy with a knockout punch in the bottom of the 10th inning, sending New Britain home winners. They bring back a 1-0 series lead to Dodd Stadium here tonight. Norwich fighting for survival after dropping their first ball game in the postseason. On the other side of the Bees, they come in rolling, winners of 3 straight games. Norwich trying to keep the dream alive of 3 straight Futures League titles, while the Bees eye history of their own. They look for their first Futures League championship here tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Adam Plager, welcoming you to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Norwich in desperation mode after dropping their first ball game in the postseason. Big game for Norwich, trying to keep the dream alive here tonight. They're back at Dodd Stadium. Should be a good one here tonight, but it was the Brendan Grady show Wednesday night against the Bees. Let's roll some of the highlights from the Trinity Bantam. His best outing of the summer for the Norwich Unicorns. Big reason for that, throwing strikes, attacking the strike zone. He did exactly that. The southpaw just finding the zone early. He begins that ball game with back-to-back strikeouts against the dangerous top of their order. Loved the way he set the tone on Wednesday night. Gave Norwich a chance to win the ball game, and then you take some of these plays. How about this? C.J. Nolan, he starts the double play, and Charlie Walsh finishes it 4-6-3. The double play, and Brendan Grady, he's fired up. 4 scoreless innings for him to that point, but he was also inducing the soft contact. What that's telling me is he's living around the edges, trusting his stuff, but also, more importantly, the defense behind him. You have to let the defense make the plays behind you. He was doing that. That's what allows you to extend your outing, work deeper into the game. Best outing, longest outing of the summer for Brendan Grady. 7 scoreless innings. But he's just getting weak contact. Big ballpark there in New Britain. Tough to hit him out of there. And he's just letting the defense make the plays behind him. And then he's finishing that outing with a strikeout. He began the outing with the K, ended it with the K. Great stuff out of the West Hartford native Brendan Grady. Some of his best stuff of the summer. He continues the dominance from Unicorns starting pitching. Here's a look at the numbers for Brendan Grady. He goes 7 innings of shutout baseball, allowed just the 1 hit. Struck out 5, he walked just 1 hit, 2 batters, did not allow any earned runs. Some of the best stuff. Here's what the pitching coach, Zach Gitcher, had to say about the dominant outing from Brendan Grady.
Yeah, I think Brendan's been consistent all year for us, done a really good job. I think the only times he's had his struggles is when he starts to lose the zone, and the other night was a clear case of him just being in the zone. His stuff is really good, and I think that was the best I've ever seen that kid pitch. He's the man.
It seemed like he set the tone. He struck out the top of their order to begin that outing against 2 dangerous guys that lead it off, Cam Riggy, and then it's Colin Crowley right after that. How important was that for him to really settle in?
I think getting either one of those guys out early, is crucial because then you got to face Stobley and Slauson after that. So those two guys coming up with nobody on takes all the pressure off you and puts all the pressure on them to try to do something big. And I think Brendan just did a really good job, obviously minimizing base runners and just competing.
He only had 5 strikeouts over 7 innings. It seemed like he also trusted his stuff to let the defense make the plays behind him.
Yeah, I think Clay called a really great game for him. Brendan just hit his spots, and that's what you're going to get. If you throw the ball in the zone, like, hitting's the hardest thing to do in sports. Like, if you throw it over the plate, you're at least forcing them to do something rather than giving them freebies.
Clay Hartshee back behind the plate will receive Matt Wooten going off. Short rest for him, but I don't think that's really ever phased him.
Yeah, I think Matt's a guy that, like, we know what we're going to get from him. He's as consistent as anybody. I asked him how he was feeling. He said, good to go. I said, all right, you got the ball then. The way I look at it is if we're going to go out and play a win or go home, like, going to live and die with one of our best. And Matt's done it all year. Should be the pitcher of the year. No questions asked, in my opinion. And anybody who thinks differently, I don't know what they're watching.
Play behind the plate. How has he controlled the pitching staff from your end since he's come into the Rose City?
Oh, I think he's a veteran. He's at John Hopkins, knows what he's doing. That team's a top 10 team every year. They do a really good job with their staffs there, and I think Clay's a testament to what they're doing.
All right, last one for you. Matt Wooten on the mound for your group here tonight. He was a big part of the Game 1 win of that series in Worcester. It seemed like he really set the tone. The starting pitching since then has been lights out.
Yeah, I think Matt's obviously a leader. Frank's a leader, and so is Brendan. Those guys go out there every night, give it their all, and if you watch their preparation throughout the week when they come here for home games, there's a reason why. And I think if you watch their bullpens, there's a reason why they're successful. They just go about their business the right way and lead on and off the field, and I'm just thankful that Matt went out and did what he did against Worcester. Frank did the same thing, and same thing with Brendan.
Brendan Grady certainly shined brightly for Norwich on Wednesday night. He gave his team a chance to win that ball game. That's all you ask for. Great stuff right there from the pitching coach, Zach Gitcher. We'll take our first time out on the Norwich Scenic Corns pregame show. On the other side, we'll recap the big moments from Wednesday night and what the turning point was on the other side. This is the Norwich Scenic Corns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right, right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Scenic Corns pregame show, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Friday night baseball right here at Dodd Stadium. Elimination game. Norwich trying to split the best-of-3 series. They want to force a Game 3 tomorrow night at New Britain Stadium. Well, Norwich, despite the masterpiece from Brendan Grady, it was spoiled. The offense unable to convert on several key opportunities during the first 3 innings. Here's exactly what we're talking about. Norwich gets the leadoff man on in the first inning. CJ Nolan leadoff single, but Ben Oliveira off 2 days rest. He gets the ground out right back to the mound. Ben Oliveira takes care of that for the second out. And then it would be Bryce Detweiler coming to the plate. He struck him out. He goes fishing, and Oliveira works out of the trouble in the first inning. And then we go into the second inning. Norwich with back-to-back hits to start that inning. They had them eventually at the corners. Now about this play, Colin Crowley looks back the runner to third, helps Oliveira spot his second out. So again, second straight inning, Norwich gets a base runner over there to third base with 1 out, and then a little pop up to the left fielder, shallow left field, and Oliveira again escapes the trouble in the second. Norwich again threatening in the third inning. Antonio Ducatelli swipes second, gets to third on an errant throw, but a grounder to second. That would help Oliveira roll through the third inning. He battled the traffic in the early stages of that ball game, but he dug deep and he found a way. That's the turning point in that ball game Wednesday night. That kept the Bees in it. It kept the game tied. You felt like momentum eventually at some point was going to shift. Big runs, Norwich unable to put onto the board, and we would have extra innings force at New Britain Stadium. Gio Conti, he tossed a couple of scoreless frames after Brendan Grady delivered 7 shutout innings. And the Bees bullpen, they were lights out for New Britain. They were a big part of that victory as well. They no-hit Norwich over the final 4 innings. So we went to the bottom of the 10th inning. Roll the tape here. Cam Thomas on the mound for Norwich, the Keene State Owl. Immediate danger this inning. It starts with Jake Reisdorf. You're just looking to create the momentum. You hold off your opponent. This swings back the momentum. Reisdorf dumps one into right field, and all of a sudden, leadoff man is on. Julius Rosado would bat in a pinch hit spot, and he would hit a double, ringing double to the wall out there in right center field. Byrne just unable to make a play on it. Might have lost the baseball. Either way, 1 out. Runners at second and third, and this really shifts the ball game. Rosado's fired up. He's energizing his dugout over there on the first base side. Norwich intentionally walks Brandon Gayer, and this sets the table for Cam Riggy. 1 out and the bases loaded. He wires it up the middle. A walk-off base hit, and the Bees for the second time in the postseason have won a game by a 1-0 score. Cam Riggy delivers the game-winning knock, and New Britain wins the opener 1-0 against the Scenic Horns. Tough way to lose the ball game, no doubt about that. Frustrating way for Norwich, just unable to get the offense going. Here's what the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski, had to say following the ball game and how Norwich will look to turn the page here on this Friday night. For more on that, here's my conversation with the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski. Joined alongside the manager of the Norwich Scenic Horns, Kyle Dombrowski. Dombro, tough opener of this series. It really seemed like the Bees pitching staff kind of controlled the offense there those first 3 innings.
Yeah, the idea with putting CJ at the leadoff spot the other day was try and get an early lead and hold on to it. So, he did a great job of getting on, stealing second base, and finding a way to get over to third. But ultimately, we couldn't push him across. And it really stings when something like that's the difference maker, especially when that happens so early in the game. And kind of hard to get anything going at that point. But I thought the boys really were competitive in the box, had some really good swings on balls. We ended up hitting some hard outs, and that's really all you can ask for is hitting the ball hard, putting it in play. Whatever happens after that, we don't really have much control over. So, New Britain did a really good job of getting us out when they needed to, and that was the ultimate difference maker.
Offensively, runs have been come by. I guess that's postseason baseball for you, really, since Game 1 against Worcester. How do you try and apply some of that earlier pressure once again tonight?
Just try to dominate whoever's on the mound from an offensive standpoint, get them in the zone, and put some good swings on balls. Whatever happens again. Like, we're just trying to hit balls hard, low, and on the line. If we happen to get out, so be it, but that's not going to deviate the process there or change the process. These guys have been really process-driven all year and done a really good job of executing that approach. So, game doesn't change, doesn't matter what game it is today. Just really go up there and have a good offensive approach and let Woot just dominate on the other side of it.
Gritty really battled for you guys. His best outing of the summer, 7 innings of 1-hit baseball. How special was it to watch him have a masterpiece there Wednesday night?
Yeah, that was awesome, especially too against Getty, who is a Trinity coach. That was really cool for Brendan to go out there and just dominate. Really feel for him that we couldn't give him the win there, but that's exactly what we needed on the mound, and it set our bullpen up really well where everyone's up tonight and tomorrow. So just do what we can to win tonight and force a Game 3 tomorrow.
You get to send your ace back to the mound, Matt Wooten. I don't think there's anybody else in the Futures League you'd rather give that baseball to tonight.
No doubt.
Last one for you. Try and even the series here tonight. How about this home crowd? It seems like they've been a factor throughout the postseason and during the back half of the regular season.
Yeah, we're going to need them tonight. We're going to need them to be rowdy, ruthless, hopefully we'll take a little bit of pressure off us in the box and just go out and play some carefree baseball.
Scenic Horn fans, that's the skipper, Kyle Dombrowski. Dombro, as always, Thanks for the time and best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Adam.
No doubt about that. Going to be important for Norwich to have short memory here today. Need to turn the page. New opportunity, a new day for Norwich here on this Friday. Just looking for a way to get that offense going right away. Early pressure so important. That was a big part of that victory against Worcester, game 1 of this postseason. Offense has dried up a little bit since then. Looking for a big win on a Friday night. We'll take our final timeout on the Norwich Scenicorns pregame show. As always, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. On the other side, we'll take a closer look at the numbers inside the matchup between Norwich and New Britain. It's the battle of the Nutmeg State. It's all around the corner.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right, right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Scenicorns pregame show, presented by SCR Structures and Sheds, continuing to count you down to first pitch on a Friday night at Dodd Stadium. The Scenicorns trying to even the series at 1 game apiece after dropping the opener. They were shut out 1-0 on Wednesday night at the Beehive. New Britain eyeing history here tonight. They go for their first title in Futures League history. Here's a closer look at the matchup between Norwich and New Britain. These teams have already seen each other 15 times overall. Can you believe it? And the Bees, well, they've held the upper hand. They are an impressive 11-4 against Norwich. They've also been really good here at Dodd Stadium. 5-2 against the Scenicorns. They've outscored Norwich 30-16, but a closer look at the numbers. Norwich hitting just .203 at home. It's been the pitching that has really told the story all summer long for New Britain. It's led them to this point in the season. This is why they're at this point in the year. You don't win 1-0 games for no reason. They have an elite pitching staff. They have won twice by 1-0 scores in the postseason to help get themselves to this point. And in this matchup, the Bees have shut out Norwich on 4 different occasions, twice at home. Norwich has also been held to 5 hits or fewer 8 different times, held to 2 runs or fewer on 9 different occasions. Here's the numbers you got to get to. You have to find a way to score at least 5 runs, especially in the postseason. Norwich, when doing that in the regular season, 2-0 against New Britain. When they get at least 3 runs, Norwich is 4-3 against the Bees. 1-run games, though, New Britain has been really good. 3-1 in those contests. And in 2-run ball games, Norwich just 2-3 in those. Have to find a way tonight to put on the early pressure against the New Britain Bees. That is going to be crucial for Norwich, looking to find the series split. Here's a closer look. All bunch of numbers. We crunched the numbers for you tonight. Here's the one that sticks out at me. Norwich averaging just 2.7 runs per game, while the Bees averaging just about 4. It's going to be another close game here tonight. That's what the numbers have told. Yes, there's been some of the outlier games where Norwich has stacked up the runs a couple times. Bees have also done that at the same time. But when you look at the overall picture, the overarching theme, it's been pitching and defense throughout this matchup. In fact, the Bees pitching, they have struck out Norwich more times than Norwich has had hits against Bees pitching. In the regular season, Norwich struck out 108 times, just 87 hits manufactured. You throw in game 1 of the championship, 113 strikeouts compared to the 92 hits. The Bees pitching staff, they're no joke. That's why they're here at this point in the season. Well, desperation times calls for desperate measures, and Norwich, they're going to send their ace, Matt Wooten, the Eastern Connecticut State product, the right-hander, towing the rubber for Norwich tonight, looking to lead Norwich to a series split, and boy, was he dialed in on Sunday evening at Fitton Field. He set the tone for Norwich in the postseason. He held the top offense to just 1 run on 8 hits. He battled through 6 and a third innings. He sets the tone. Everything runs through the Woot here in Norwich. He's back out there on the hill trying to force a decisive Game 3 tomorrow. That's going to wrap things up on the Norwich Scenic Corns pregame show. On the other side, it's Game 2 of the Futures League Championship right here at Dodd Stadium. You don't want to miss it.
It's the Make This the Summer event going on now at Falvey's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Norwich. Make this the summer that you try something new and fun. Make this the summer you say I do to a new vehicle that you can custom order online at falveys.com or stop into the dealership. Falvey's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Norwich, just down the road from Mohegan Sun.
Falvey's, you're gonna love it.
Scenicorn fans, want to watch the Scenicorns like a VIP? Book a Dodd Stadium luxury suite, perfect for business outings, birthdays, or a night out with friends. Enjoy indoor and outdoor seating, a flat screen TV, your own private server, and the option to pre-order from our catering menu, all while catching every pitch in comfort. Order your luxury suite today for just $500 for up to 20 guests, or go big with a double suite for $900 and bring 40. Don't miss out. Call now, 860-887-7962, and reserve your suite today.